James Erastus Mungai, and the birth of the Ngoroko Squad. Popular in political circles, even in the current regime, is the Ngoroko Squad, a killer police group linked to the anti-stock theft unit. In 2024, a video circulating online suggested that one Cornelius Rono was being abducted by Ngoroko Squad associated with Rigathi Gachagua. The same year, Martha Karua linked the squad to Gachagua and claimed that he was perpetrating abductions. So what is the Ngoroko Squad, and what role has it played in Kenyan politics? The Ngoroko Squad was established in the 1970s by James Erastus Mungai, a senior police commander in the Rift Valley. After being posted by Bernard Hinga in 1973, he was tasked with the role of creating the anti-stock theft unit at this time. Kenyatta was already ailing, and the rumors in the inner political ranks were about who would succeed him. With some politicians opposed to the handover of power to Daniel Moi, they started the Change the Constitution movement that was headed by then Nakuru politician Kihika Kimani. With the constitution change being a long shot, the movement opted for the assassination of the three most powerful politicians around Kenyatta at the time, Mwai Kibaki and Charles Nijinyo. With James Mungai being at the helm of the anti-stock theft unit, he was tasked with the role of creating the squad that would assassinate the three politicians. Before this, the squad had already been responsible for tens of deaths of other politicians in the country. Not only was it a deadly outfit, it had the power to change the country's political future. The Ngoroko Squad and Kihika Kimani were unsuccessful in preventing Moi's ascension to power. But their machinations would not be forgotten by the new regime. After Moi's swearing in, Charles Nijinyo declared that the Ngoroko Squad would be dealt with. Mungai knew that he would be hounded out, and he tried to use his connections to delay or avoid the inevitable. He approached Kenyatta, who said he did not have the power to change his situation. Later on in 1978, the anti-stock theft unit was disbanded and the personnel scattered throughout the country. By November, the Ngoroko affair had turned into a national issue, and there was even parliamentary debate on extending powers to President Moi to detain people without trial. Mungai tried to get an appointment with then Attorney General Charles Nijinyo without success. Provincial Commissioner Isaiah Mathenjia had on numerous times called Mungai to warn of an impending violent death. On the day that he was granted an appointment with the AG for November 6th, Mungai knew his goose was cooked. Rather than honor the appointment, he decided to flee the country. As reported by Nation Africa, Mungai told some senior officers in Nakuru that he was heading north to Lake Turkana, where he would spend his holiday, an unusual destination for a man who loved the coastal breeze, where the political and security elite converged annually to watch the Indian Ocean waves lap on the shore. He then drove in his Mercedes-Benz to his confidant, Assistant Minister for Labor Simon Cairo, on the evening of November 1st with a single request. He wanted to borrow his driver the next day. It was not an unusual request, according to Cairo. The two were in-laws and had farms in Rongai. Cairo also ran a hotel in Nakuru town named Malika, and it was here that Mungai was to pick up the driver. At 5 a.m. Thursday, November 2nd, 1978, the man who had been at the helm of police in Rift Valley for more than 10 years wore his official uniform, took his Range Rover KLM 874, and drove out of his home. After picking Cairo's driver, they headed for Lodwar, after which they crossed the Sudan border. By the time authorities knew of his escape, Mungai was already in Sudan. He sold his Range Rover for $60,000 and was using missionary vehicles in Sudan. Mungai tried writing to senior government officials asking for forgiveness, while claiming he harbored no plan to harm anybody. He grew jittery that the Sudan government was likely to hand him over to Kenya, and he instead opted to take a flight to Switzerland. Mungai would later return to Kenya in December 1978 and was received by DCI officers, but was never charged for any crime. Mungai retired to his ranch in Nakuru, and the government declared the matter closed. How this came to be is a secret only Mungai would reveal, but dead men tell no tales. Like, follow, and comment.